Welcome to episode 79 of It's No Secret Podcast Live. We are your hosts, Charis, who is invisible right now, Bianca Rose, and Teresa. Hi, ladies. I swear,
Hello.
I
Shari
literally
was just
was
here.
I was just there. I was like waiting.
I was like, great. She don't want to go first.
She didn't want to go first. See, it's not just me.
Oh my! It's this spot is bad luck. I'm just gonna name it now.
No, don't say that. Don't say that. Live show, live problems. But it is
Yeah.
another Wednesday.
It's another Wednesday.
Be back.
Okay.
She said, please hold, please hold. She just
Please
didn't want to go
hold.
first.
She didn't. But little does she know that as soon as she comes back in here, I'm making her go first. So, all of the theatrics don't matter.
It hates me anyway.
Oh, Shar.
I was literally the whole time we were sitting backstage.
The
it was
whole
there,
time
and
backstage.
as soon as it launched, it disappeared.
Yeah, I saw
She
it
said-
happen. She said, toodles. But it is another Wednesday while Shari tries to figure this out. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of It's No Secret Podcast Live. Thank you guys so much for joining us. All of you guys who are already watching us on either YouTube, Facebook, or Instagram Live. We appreciate y'all for joining us. I got another good episode in store for you guys today. But we are excited to have, whoever is on the live watching us right now. We got some chats already coming in. Fuzzy Bunny already coming through with the yo, right? So we got our
Hey.
regulars in there for sure. Daniela Velez on our
Says, "Is
YouTube
this
said,
real?"
"You two girls are
Yes.
beautiful." Yes, this
We are your
is
dreams
real.
come true. Yes, we are real.
Oh, thank you. She's so sweet. But it is another episode of It's No Secret. If you've ever watched our show before, you know we always start with our highs and lows. We're going to, of course, start with our lows. Look, she left. She
Right
left
when you mentioned it.
right when I was mentioning it because it's her turn to fucking go first. So
That's fine.
It's all right.
It's all right.
It's okay, Shari. We see how it is. All right. Well, we are going to kick us off with our lows first so that we can end on a high note. So B, by default.
By
you get to
default,
go
I
first.
guess. And I'll try to give her some time. If this is y'all's first time watching, then we would love to hear y'all's highs and lows. If it's your first
Yes.
time watching, we basically just share one shitty thing that happened this week. And then we ended on a really great thing that happened that we'd like to acknowledge. So if you want to share with that in the chat, we'll share your comments and kind of enjoy those moments with you. So I'll go first. So my low is I tried to make an appointment this week for a salon. I usually dye and cut my own hair, and I thought maybe I could take a moment to turn my brain off and go get it done professionally. And I went to go get it quoted. I did not realize how expensive salons have gotten in this economy. I was quoted $375 for color and another $45 for cut.
I'm sorry.
all
You
I
said
asked-
$375.
And all I asked is to add a little bit more red, and I just want bangs. I was trying to do something nice and, surprise y'all next week. But in this economy, $400 and something for a hair, some bangs, and 50 shades darker. I don't know. It's just not in the cards for me. So,
No.
awakening. You will find my ass at Sally's. I'll be doing my own hair.
If you need an extra pair of hands, I got, two right here.
Yeah.
I got you. Girl. I think Shari's back. Let's see. Oh, nope, she's not. Just kidding. Oh, yay!
I'm like, what the hell?
Oh God! Thank gosh.
All right, I am going to
Thank
move you guys.
For our people in the chats, Larry from on YouTube saying, "Okay, this is dope," and we got him from Clearwater, Florida. So
Shout out to
hey.
Florida.
Oh.
Hey. All right, so Shari got to skip out on doing her low first. B got to go first. So
Sorry.
Shar, what's your low for this Wednesday to Wednesday?
My low is I literally just spent $800 to get my brakes and rotors fixed. Like, just walked back in the door from spinning it, and so it's still stinging a little bit.
Gross.
I know nothing
sorry.
about cars.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
They would literally rob me in front of my eyes, and I'd say thank you because you know better than I do.
Thank you. Thank you. I just took it in the
That
ass
was
for you.
definitely robbing me. Just back brakes and rotors, but I'm safe again, so It's
The
okay.
cost of things
Yes, the
in
cost
this
of being
economy.
safe. Mhm.
Yes.
What about you two? What was your low for the week?
My low was that on Monday, it was my dad's 80th birthday, and I wasn't there.
Hmm.
Yeah. My sister, bless her soul, is actually in Mexico with my parents, which is where they live, and she was kind enough to FaceTime me while the mariachi was singing happy birthday to my dad. Yeah. Fortunate for me, it was I know this is gonna sound like I should say unfortunate, but fortunately for me, it was kind of blurry and she was breaking out a lot because her signal was bad where they were at.
Mhm.
Because if not, I probably would have been crying my eyes out if
Oh,
I
I
could
still would have been crying. You
actually
know what? Mariachis
see
make
it.
me cry in general. They're just so precious.
Same girl. And then have you ever watched the mariachi with like a little kid singing? Oh,
My heart.
girl. Yes. I melt every time. I'm just like boohoo crying every single time. But that was my low. Let's switch it
Mm.
up though. Let's move on to our highs now. So Shari
Okay.
gets to kick off our highs this time, which is what she wanted. No, I'm just kidding.
Not
So
really.
what was your high of the week, Shar?
My high of the week is I get to take it's a high, but not really a high, but I get to take a little bit of a break. My son had his last tournament of the spring season this past weekend, so right now there's like a little break for being at the parks, but we are in full grind mode because the boys are going to Cooperstown um, for spring season of 2027. So like from now until like August, it's like grind time, fundraising, doing all a bunch of fun stuff, and then we'll be right back in it for fall ball. So I get a little bit of a break.
I love that. You need one because you're hella fucking busy.
Well, baby girl still has games, so it's not fully
Oh,
stopping, but for
never
him,
mind.
it's stopping.
Just
Take it back.
kidding. I'm
Just
just
kidding.
kidding.
Got that.
He already lied to us.
Yeah, so well, at least from the like 3 games a day, tournaments all weekend, and traveling super far. Hers are like 10 minutes away, and it's an hour out my Saturday morning. Not too bad. So
Mm.
it's still a little break in there somewhere.
Oh,
Okay.
good. Yay.
That's good.
Yay for breaks.
What about you, B?
My week was, I think I had a very productive weekend. I got to focus a lot on the podcast. So
You did.
I was putting in work, and boyfriend also was putting in work. I made him a free intern. So he was putting in work, helping with some videos. As y'all can see, we had a new intro visual. So we worked on that this weekend. And
Yes.
so that is going to be my high. We accomplished a lot. So
Yes.
very grateful. It's
By
time
we,
to
she
get this
means her
podcast-
and her boyfriend.
It's time we get this podcast up off the ground. We've been sitting for way too long. And I mean, I think we've proven consistency. We're here to stay, guys. Wednesdays is y'all's therapy day, and
Yes.
y'all deserve, some effort from us. So we're gonna give it to you, and we'll be working on that.
I mean, 79 episodes in, I think it was about time. So
Yeah, and I want
yeah.
to start gearing up because 100 episodes, we have to do something.
Big milestone, guys.
It's a big milestone.
So we got to start planning what the hell that's going to look like. Tell our intern to get to work. No, I'm just kidding.
Right.
You hear that, intern?
I'm just kidding, boyfriend. No. My high for the week, I actually have a couple. I couldn't really decide which one to share.
Okay.
I'm going to share a few.
God's favorite.
God's favorite.
I still had a low, but God's favorite. My first high is that I'm off all next week, so I am already like anticipating it. Like even I'm like, hey guys, what are we doing today? Let's get this done. Like, gonna have a much needed week off, so that's nice. And then, like, if anybody watches the World Cup, Mexico has made it this far for the first time in 40 years, and so big accomplishment for one of my countries, and I'm very excited about it. And USA is playing right now, so we might not have some of our regulars on because they're watching the soccer game.
Hey, you know what? We had a lot of supporters during the Spurs versus Knicks, finals. So I have hope for our viewers, our regular attendees. They will show up. They have shown up. If you're here, thanks, guys.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I actually had a coworker who sent us like a meme when Mexico played yesterday, and it said, "If Mexico wins today, I'll stop drinking until July," which is today.
Which today,
Yeah.
in true
But-
Mexican fashion.
exactly. But I'm really excited. Viva Mexico. Like, let's keep it up. Let's see if we can take it all the way. Super, super, super excited. But now that we have caught everybody up on this week's highs and lows, let's talk about one of the biggest highs in some people's lives. Sometimes low for some people, unfortunately, but mainly high, maybe a little bit of a stressor in a person's life. And that is planning a wedding and everything that comes with that. So today we're going to go through the ultimate wedding checklist for all of you guys and all the things that couples should actually be talking about leading up to their wedding. So first and foremost, for anyone who's new in the chat, I do want to kind of give a little background on where we stand in our marital statuses on our host panel here.
And why we have an opinion on what.
And why we have an opinion on all this shit. But I guess I'll start since I'm already talking. I am the married one of the bunch. Have been married for 5 years now. Happy belated anniversary to my husband and I. Yeah. So I'm married. Shar?
Single, not married, never been married.
Yeah, that's something you have to say now. Never been married.
Never been married. Yeah.
No former marriages. Just one, guys.
There's no credit history that you need to check like that.
Right.
This is it.
Yeah, exactly. B, what about you?
Currently in a relationship, and I'd like to think I'm in engagement purgatory because hopefully it would be the case. It's going well enough that he's an intern. So,
Oh, yes, this is true. This is true. So, boyfriend, if you're watching, this episode's for you. Get your pen and paper out. No, I'm just kidding.
for any men, get your pen and paper out. If y'all have
Yeah.
ever been married, if you plan on being married, if you've been, adding things to your Pinterest board on what you think your wedding should or want to be, this episode is definitely for you because we
Yes.
want some input on how to even plan a wedding.
So, first and foremost, when does the planning start?
Immediately,
When?
as in I thought of it right now. There's no questions popped. My Pinterest board has been active since 2008.
Oh, okay. So she's been planning. She's one of those girls. I was
Because
not one
your
of those
taste
girls.
evolves over time.
This is a
So
fact. This is a cold hard fact. Yes, your taste does evolve. But for my actual wedding, I didn't start planning until the proposal, right? When the proposal happened, I'm like, okay, now there's a ring on the finger. Now it's time to start planning, right? So the first thing on my checklist that I created was the checklist for the proposal. So there's things that come with what happens after the proposal. One, are we going to celebrate the engagement?
okay.
Is there an engagement party? Is there anything? Are we doing engagement photos, right? Because that's a big thing these days. For anyone who hasn't watched our podcast before, backstory, I got married in my cousin's backyard. So I didn't really plan a big wedding. But before the backyard wedding, I was in fact planning a big wedding. And then COVID happened and here we are. But yes, my first thing on the checklist is the proposal. Are we celebrating the engagement? Are we talking about how long we're going to be engaged for? Right? So you have to figure that out. There's people that I know that have been engaged for forever and never got married, or engaged for 2-3 years and then finally like, oh, all right, let's have our wedding.
Yeah.
Right? How do you guys feel about that? How do you guys feel about hi mom? How do you guys feel about the timeline from proposal to wedding? Like, what's too long? What's too short? What do you guys think?
Well, I'll pose that question to the audience and give them time to answer if they prefer a short or a long
Engagement?
relationship, short engagement, or a short relationship, long engagement. Like, what do y'all prefer as timeline? Sharice, you go first.
Um, I think for me, I would rather. I don't know. Honestly, I really think it depends on the other person.
Mm,
I think that I think like even when it comes to like I think of course like you can envision what you want your wedding to be, but I think like it all is going to determine on who you're marrying, right? So I think
yeah.
even even in that situation, like I feel like and either way, it doesn't really matter. I think like a long relationship would be great for someone who like it's it takes time to break down their barriers, or for you to come
Right.
to break down those barriers, right, and really get to know each other and learn each other, and then like okay, decide like okay, are we moving forward with this or not? There's
Mm.
some people who you meet and you're like, oh, all walls come down. Let's get married tomorrow. You know, like I just
Mhm.
really think it all depends on how that goes and how that plays out.
Okay. What about you, B?
It depends. Again, similar to Shari's, what the situation is. Are we talking wedding or marriage to begin with? Because I think I've been like teeter tottering if I want to be immediately married and then just plan a wedding for further into the future, so that way I
Mm,
know the license and our marriage is, official, or if I just want to wait, um, or do both immediately. But
mm.
depending what we envision, things like budget and who we want to involve, where we want to do it, the things that we're going to talk about today kind of dictates the timeline, in my opinion.
I agree 1,000% with that. I think agree to with both of you of it depends, right? Because every situation is different, personalities are different. You got to know who you're marrying, right? There has
Mhm.
to be some kind of compromise. Although us ladies like to take full reins on weddings, your husband is getting married too, ladies, okay? So make sure to keep them in mind and some of the things that they want and factor that into the decision process. But as far as the engagement length, I don't really have a preference. I think whatever works for you as a couple is what works for you as a couple, because if you are the type that wants a big extravagant wedding, then you may need to save up for that or
Right.
whatever the case might be, which brings me to the next thing on my personal checklist, which is setting the budget. Because I think setting the budget for your wedding is going to determine a timeline in a sense for
Right.
what you guys may or may not want. What are you guys think are some really important questions to ask when you are setting a budget for a wedding?
I mean, obviously, what style wedding do you want?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the biggest question. I mean, some people can do a small intimate wedding like yours. You
Mm-hmm.
can do a, you know, courthouse
Elopement?
Huge.
wedding. You can
Yeah.
do a huge wedding. You can do a destination wedding.
Destination?
It just really
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that off the top should be like the first question. Like, what style wedding do we want? Because
Mm-hmm.
then different things trickle in for different styles.
Right.
Yep. B, what do you think is something that's important to ask when setting the budget for the wedding?
Um, no, I think that really hits it. That style of wedding really, really does dictate, the details of it, venue size, the type of catering, all those kind of things.
Mhm.
Um, but also, hmm, I lost my
Guess
train of thought.
That's okay, it happens, it's a live show. Go
I'm
ahead,
like
Shark.
your guest list size. I think
Yeah, is a big factor in the budget for sure. And then to like Bianca's point, like what type of venue are you getting? What kind of catering are you doing? Like all of that. And we'll get to that, some of that a little bit more throughout the checklist. But one thing I was going to ask too, because there is a lot of people out there that still have a very old school kind of state of mind, is who is contributing to the wedding,
Ugh. Yeah.
right?
Is it something that you pay for yourself, or are you trying to
Mhm.
get help from, people? I know, like, quinceañeras, I had one of those, and that it was made up of sponsors.
Yeah,
Like, here from the
basically.
family's gonna donate, or is it traditionally, what is it? The wife, the female side of the family pays for it?
father
Mhm.
bride.
Yeah. I
Father of
mean,
the bride.
culturally, how who contributes?
Right. And
And
that's a big
is it a good
decision.
idea?
That's a big decision, right? Like, that's something that can impact a family in different ways because now, like, the way that I see it, because obviously my husband and I paid for our wedding and we're going to
Mm,
pay for the big wedding if when we were planning the big wedding as well. But like having someone else contribute, like parents, for example, if they're
mhm.
around, now does that mean that their input is involved in like some of the wedding decisions and things like that?
Right.
So that's kind of a fine line you have to be careful with.
Yep.
Really quick, Fuzzy Bunny on our YouTube said, I think it's important to ask where the funding is coming from. Is
Mhm.
family involved? And are there any strings to consider? He
Yeah.
put that in there before I said it, guys. So kudos to him. But
Because,
like,
like,
yeah,
I don't want you to all of a sudden think that you have an opinion or a say so in this wedding. Like,
it's my wedding.
no.
I mean,
I've seen so
ours.
many, like, say yes to the dress, episodes where, like, the mom is like, "I will pay, but you gotta wear what I want you to wear." And
Right.
other aspects of the wedding starts taking that turn. Once you start accepting that outside help, people start thinking that they paid for their opinion, and it's like, "Okay, that's no. Mm-mm, you gotta draw
Mhm.
the line on that."
And then when setting the budget too, like you also have to determine like, are we going to save to pay this all up front or are we willing to go into debt? And if we're willing to go into debt, how much into debt are we willing to go for a wedding? Because weddings are fucking expensive.
Yeah, weddings are average about 15 to $20,000.
Oh,
That
that's
is a
that's a
down payment on a house.
that's the low end.
That is
That's
the low
low.
end.
That is the low end of a wedding. Let
Oh
me
my God,
tell you.
people pay 15 grand for venues.
Right.
Exactly.
Oh my
Sales.
god.
Yeah,
So yeah.
venues cost about that much now. So it's like no, like on average, I think an average American wedding is in the
Mhm.
hundred thousands.
Yeah.
It could
In
be,
the
yeah.
hundred thousands. So it's
Even if
like
you decide to have an elopement or, like, a micro wedding,
Mhm.
you I've seen TikTok videos where girls are like, "Oh, guess how much I spend on this wedding or my elopement," and they
Mhm.
still consider the dress, the courthouse fees, they still want their hair and makeup done because it's still a special day, like, you still want
Right.
to contribute to those fine details of things, and even an elopement can be about $3,000.
Yep.
So, it just really depends on your style, but no matter the style, it's gonna cost a pretty penny.
Yep. I will say that when I was planning my wedding, the big one that we were planning on spending a lot of money on, I did find ways to kind of cut some costs by doing things myself because I am a very crafty person. So
Mm,
like I I was making the invitations. I made our save the dates. I had already purchased everything to do all the centerpieces for the tables. I was going to make the bouquets for myself and
yum.
for my entire wedding party. You know, like I created a jar for people to write like well wishes for us to read in our 1 year anniversary. So it's like I made the party favors. They were shot glasses. You know what I
That's
mean?
cool.
Like they were personalized shot glasses. So it's like there are ways that you can cut some of the financial burden if you
Mhm.
either know someone or you yourself know how to do some of the things that you want done.
I mean, so I do wanna ask you because it seems like you did a lot for
I
your
did.
wedding. You saved in money, clearly,
Yeah.
but as far as stress levels, mental health, all that, that you now have the sole pressure of all these details, how did that impact you, or did that impact you? Because I think if you're gonna save on one thing, it's still gonna cost you in some other way. So how did you handle
Absolutely.
all that?
It's a lot of work. But the way that I was planning on doing it, because again, we didn't end up having the big wedding. The way that I was planning on doing it was doing it pieces at a time before the wedding, right? So like the invitation or the let's start with the save the dates, right? Those went out first, right? So, hey, I'm going to dedicate X amount of time to get this done because I want them mailed off by this particular date. So you do
Mhm.
have to be very good at planning and organizing. You basically have to project manage yourself. and tell yourself, okay, by cutoff date to send these out, it takes me about this long to make one of them. I need to make 200 of them. So let me get to work. I'm going to
Right.
need about this many hours. So that's kind of
Mhm.
how I was doing it. But I got the save the dates done and sent out pretty quickly. I did have people that helped me. So like when it came to like, all right, because the save the dates that I made were magnets that you could put on your fridge and it had our date and
Oh,
whatever on
cute.
there. Yeah. And so when I was making the magnets, I recruited, shout out to Michelle. She's not watching right now, but like Michelle came over and I think I had Ashley and Philly over too. And I put Gabe to work too. And we were all just sitting there drinking wine while we were making save the dates, like I'll bring the wine, you bring your hands because that's what I
Yeah.
need. Yeah. Like, so it just depends on what you got going on. Like,
Mm.
the bouquets, I obviously was going to make them from fake flowers because I was like, I'm not going to spend money I can make them months ahead of time if
Mhm.
they're fake flowers and not have to stress over them at the last minute.
And
So,
the
it's
cost of
expensive.
flowers,
Yeah.
Mhm.
the
Flowers are
cost of
so
flowers
fucking
are
expensive.
I would love real flowers, but to me,
insane.
I would spend money, like, getting a bouquet of I went to FFA. I love arranging flowers. I can arrange my own bouquet.
Mhm.
So, I can save a little bit of money there. It's if you start incorporating flowers, like, in centerpieces and things like that, where I start
Mm.
like, "Nah, that's a problem for future me."
Yeah.
But we talked about, like, saving money, little DIY projects, but I do wanna ask what or if there is something that is part of the wedding planning that you'd want to splurge on. What is worth spending money on, in y'all's opinion?
I'll let Shari go first because I have thoughts on this.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm very conflicted on that because even like in my own wedding mind, I'm always like there's that little piece of me that like wants a big extravagant wedding, and then there's the bigger piece of me that's just like, for what? I don't even like people. People don't like me. I really don't care. Like my biggest thing is like I love to feed people, so like of course I think like that would be my big
Food.
portion, is like
Mhm.
to feed people and like have a party and bring people together. But do I really want to spend all this money on feeding people that like maybe not don't support my marriage or don't?
Right, right.
It's really hard to figure that part of it out. So I think like if anything, it would be like a food, like making sure there's enough food to feed people and like to have a gathering. But then again, that gathering part is real questionable. So I don't quite know. Yeah.
I would say, as someone who has gotten married, one of the things that I would recommend to people to not be stingy on is your photographer or videographer, because those memories are going to last you a lifetime, right?
Right.
And those are videos and photos you can show your children and your grandchildren. And, it's a big day in your little world, right? And so I think it's important to have a good photographer or videographer. And I need to give a shout out to Victoria, who was our unofficial photographer at mine and my husband's wedding. She actually did it for free
Oh,
as a
wow.
gift to my husband and I. And, she wasn't a professional or anything, but she looked like it that day. She had her
She would look great.
camera and she captured so many amazing moments and videos. She got all of our toasts. I got videos of Shari crying that I can show the world one day. But yes, like I think that's important because in the long run, that's all you're gonna have left. Like people
Mhm.
don't realize like your wedding is legitimately a day. It is one day. And so for me, that's why the photographer, videographer is important because they're giving me the stuff that's going to last me a lot longer than that one day.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Better
We
than
have, Becky on Instagram that said that I was her photographer for her wedding day, which is true.
Nice. Good job, photographer. You're important. And she
Uh,
also said keep it simple with the whole
yeah,
wedding thing for sure. Absolutely.
so I
yeah.
have a
I I agree with you 100%. A photographer is definitely worth the splurge because just the quality of pictures, the angles of the pictures. God forbid someone catches my double chin when I'm trying to look down and wipe my tears. I'll be mad as
It's gonna
hell.
happen. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, just don't, or at least know how to edit it out, because either if you're gonna get a bad picture, make it good, or get a good picture, make it better. That's the photographer that I want.
Shari, you had a question.
What is you guys' take on wedding planners?
I think it's a waste of money. No, I say that because I'm broke. But like, if I had a lot of money, I probably would say it's totally worth it, because then you're not stressing over a lot of the little things, like especially day of. Day of is very stressful.
I wonder how much they cost, though. Do we assume that they're expensive, or are they like apartment locators and realtors where?
No, they're fucking.
They are very-
Thank you,
They charge-
Becky. She said waste of money.
Oh. You know what? That's why Pinterest and TikTok exist now, because they automatically give you the checklist and things to consider. And they even give you like a little timeline to consider them, which
Yeah.
is where I'm going to be living at some point, is just looking at those checklists and timelines.
So
I'll be
speaking
my
of
own wedding
checklists-
planner.
Yes, you be your own wedding planner. Speaking of checklist, I'm going to my next number on my checklist, which is pick the date. This is important because one, we talked about the budget already, right? So that's going to kind of help us determine a timeline. But then it's also, what's the best season? Do we want an indoor or outdoor wedding?
In Texas?
Well, yeah. Yes, we're in Texas. But
Don't ever invite me to an outside wedding.
not everybody lives in Texas, okay? No, but like, what's the best season? Like for us, for example, as soon as I got engaged, I was like, we're getting married in the fall because that's when it's the coolest here. And then what happened? I got married right in the fucking middle of the summertime, outside. Outside. Yeah. But so you got to pick a date. Do we want a holiday wedding, right? You know, that kind of thing. If it's going to be a like remote location, what is the weather like there during that season, right? So
do you want
I
that
think
date
a lot
to
of
be
this-
significant to you? Some people
That's
try to
the
get
thing.
wedding married close to their anniversary time, or to a time that means something to them.
Or to like a cool number, like 2/22/22, like,
Wow,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? Like people
Yeah.
were trying to find those dates that like
Something
are
that's easy to remember. Like, yeah.
But then I think people also need to remember that picking the date is also going to cost you, or not cost you, because during wedding season, you're obviously going to spend more. So
Right.
what day of the week makes a difference on
Makes a
cost
big
as well.
difference.
yeah, I know I've seen people more recently, like people get married on a Tuesday. And I'm like, who gets married on a Tuesday? But I get it. If it's in your budget, it's in your budget.
Exactly. Let me catch us up on some comments real quick. Becky on our Instagram said, just so you know, if you go to the city and check your spot every 15-minute increments, it's free for the city. Riverwalk is the city property. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people get married on the Riverwalk, actually. And then she also said the planner was charging $500 for 30 minutes.
That's wild.
30 fucking, I'm in the wrong business.
That's a consultation. That's a consultation. But It's Me Philly on YouTube said, if I could, I would absolutely want a wedding planner. I don't want to think about anything, and I don't I don't want my family to have to think about anything either. I think they come in handy more day of than anything.
Day of is a little hectic.
Yeah.
But yes, they do definitely come in. But picking the date is a big factor.
Yeah. I don't understand that the whole reason that inspired today's episode is because technically the summer is wedding season. So regardless of my opinion of hitting the outside hot heat, this is wedding season. And I'm a little bit disappointed because I have not been invited to a wedding. So I need more friends to be married or to get married.
Friends with me, 5 years ago.
I love weddings though.
Yeah. Fuzzy Bunny on our YouTube said it's about half to a third the cost for the Tuesday weddings. That's wild. But it's true because that's, they don't have as much business in venues and things like that during the week. So
my unc's in the chat. Hey.
Unks in the chat. Hey,
And then Becky on Instagram said it's not wedding season for her, it's tanning season for her. So.
I love it. Yes. Get it, girl. Next thing on my checklist was the guest list. So how do you guys feel about guest lists? What does that look like? What do you guys think that would look like for you guys if you guys were to get married? Who's
I'd have to
invited?
really start thinking. Yeah, I'd have to really start thinking. So I will say that boyfriend did humor me recently of putting together like a little list of a need to know or a need to be there and want to be there
So he's
kind of
making the
thing.
list already, huh?
Making a list. That's good sign. That's what I'm saying. I'm
He's
like
on step
basically in
3
a purgatory.
or step 4. Yeah.
I'm in purgatory right now. But I think it's a good place to start with who do you absolutely want to be there?
Mhm.
And then think about how many people that is, because for some people it's I just want my mom and my siblings there. I don't care who else shows up or does not show up. I absolutely need them to be there.
Yeah.
And then kind of start branching out, almost like a tiered chart.
Yes. Shar, how do you feel about the guest lists?
Very conflicted.
Yeah.
Very conflicted. I
Why?
think that is because, again, I really don't feel like I'm not a firm believer that people really have your best intentions and like want what's best for you. I think there are a lot of haters and a lot of people who are going to talk shit no matter what. And so it's like, why do I want these people there on my special day?
Yeah. No, that's fair. I will say when we were planning the big wedding, we got up to about 250 guests. And that's what we were planning for. It was about 200 plus. And so, yeah, it was stressful when the number got so high. But like with that said, I want to take this opportunity to tell people, let's like especially the women, oh, Shari froze. That like because I was in a family where it was there was a lot of pressure because it's like, well, if I don't invite so and so, then they're
Mm,
gonna get upset. Or if I don't do this, then this and that, right? But
right.
I need everyone to remember that it is your wedding. You invite who you want to be there,
Right.
who, to Shari's point, is there for you and for your marriage and is for it and supporting it. Because having negative energy at your wedding is not fun at all.
Right.
So just keep that in mind whenever you guys are planning.
Yeah. Philly on YouTube said there will be folks who want an invite simply for the free food, a chance to dress up, and a potentially open bar. And that is absolutely right.
And cheeseman. They're there for cheeseman.
They're there for the cheese, man.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
Unk on our Facebook said, made that mistake once and don't plan to do it again. My first list was the best. Don't think I could make that list better. Yeah, just go with your gut. Like if you're just plan for the people that you want to be there.
Right. I had mentioned the fact that kind of like a 1-year rule where if I have not seen you or we have not hung out in the past year, you're not going to make that list because you don't know what's happening in my life recently. You're not actively involved in my life. And, I even said, like, hey, that even includes my biological father.
Mm.
I have not seen him in a few years, but just the title itself does not guarantee you an invitation to the wedding.
Amen.
It is our current relationship and how you support my marriage, not just show up for the event that you think that is, going to be fun and great, because it is, but
Right.
I don't know you like that no more.
I don't know you like that.
I don't know you like that no more.
You're just a homie now. When it comes to guest lists, how do you guys feel about plus ones?
It depends on if I know who that plus one is. And I say that very conflictingly because it was not long ago that I was single, that I don't like showing up to a wedding by myself. So I am going to keep that in mind,
Yes.
that maybe I do want a designated driver. Maybe I do want a friend that I know can get down with me and have a great time, because as much as it is like the bride and groom's wedding, we are also in attendance. Therefore, I'm also contributing to the atmosphere.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put my little single hat on for a second
Mhm.
and kind of give grace that it's going to depend on the obviously the bride and groom, but I hope that they would consider single people and
Yeah.
allow a plus one.
I think it's important. I actually don't like it when they don't give you a plus one, because I think everyone should feel comfortable, like, while they're there. Should feel included, should feel like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, like they're having a good time. Barry Nice on our YouTube said, "When I got married, I only invited my most intimate family and friends, even after I had." I think that's the end of the message there.
We're like, And Unc on the chat said, I try to bring one every now and then. But again, if you're going to bring one, make sure that it's okay to bring one, because again, we're
Yes.
budgeting for the exact amount of people when it's wedding planning. Fuzzy Bunny also said, I'm not a supporter of automatic plus ones. I want to know both for the most part.
Yeah, I get that. I get that too. But I feel like as your friend or family member or whomever, like, I would hope, and again, this is just wishful thinking. I would hope that they would bring someone with good energy. Like, that's the thing that
Right.
I would be. I don't necessarily need to know them
Mhm.
for them to be your plus one, but I want to at least be sure that they're coming with the right energy to
Right.
my
Oh,
event.
and Bernice, her second half of the message came through. So I'll just quickly catch up. When I got married, I only invited my most intimate family and friends, even after I had a family member saying that they didn't go because they thought I was inviting them last minute. But I'm glad they didn't go because I don't talk to them. So again,
Mm.
it's that assumption. It's like, just because we're blood related, you think that's an automatic invitation. Not on my watch.
Yes. And then It's Me Philly on our YouTube said, conflicted. As someone who has been denied a plus one and had to awkwardly attend myself, don't love not getting one. As someone who has thrown events, I get reserving plus ones for serious
Special
significant
someones.
others
Yeah,
only.
significant others.
Yeah, no, again, you have to make sure the bride and groom are okay with it, because when it comes to like event planning, it's, you know, it's part of the budget. It's part of all of that. So it is important to find out. Go ahead. B.
Yeah, Unc in the chat said, but everyone wants me to find someone, so why not bring someone to test the waters? I think weddings are also a good time to meet other people. That kind of also takes into effect, like maybe putting all the single people together. What are your thoughts on that? Like, I know some people do, what
Seating
is it? Seating
arrangements.
arrangement. Yeah, yeah.
Yes. I
So
am
how are
not a
you
fan
about
of
those?
that. I am
No?
not a fan of seating arrangements. I am like, sit where you want to sit, be comfortable. The only seats I'm going to arrange is the main table. And that's about it. Everybody else, you can sit with whoever the hell you want. And in my family, most of the time, nobody's sitting down anyway. So,
Right.
like, unless we're eating, and usually they're walking around with their plate eating at somebody else's table, it don't matter. Like, for me, I'm not a fan of
Yeah.
that. Shari, whose internet hates her apparently, said plus ones make for great stories. That's true.
They do. They do.
How do you feel about seating arrangements?
I'm almost for seating arrangements for the immediate family because I want to guarantee my immediate family to have reserved tables. I think maybe not seating arrangements. Maybe I'm for like a reserved table, rather than like, this isn't school. This isn't elementary. I don't need assigned seats, but I definitely would like reserved. I want my mom and my sisters and brother to sit close to me.
That's just the main table. Just plan the main table. Fuzzy Funny said it's Thanksgiving rules. It's not the time to test the waters. Don't bring a new person along. They haven't earned the cheeseman.
Oh, I know that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a question. Since we're talking about guest lists, we talked about bringing plus ones. What about children?
Mm.
Bringing
So
children to weddings.
as a mom and have been my entire adult life, I will be honest with you that when an invitation says no children allowed, I don't go.
Okay. Is it like out of spite, like, well, then fine. If I'm not welcome, my kids aren't, or if my kids aren't welcome, then I'm not going? Or is it like, unfortunately, not in the cards for me?
Yeah, because do you know
Do you
how
get
much
offended
work
by
it
it or
takes?
no?
Sometimes it depends, but like I also understand it's their wedding,
Mm,
right? But I come as a package deal. And so if you want me there, you may have to consider allowing children because I come with my children and a husband and I am a package deal. But like I don't think I judge people for it. I'm like, okay, well, if no kids are allowed, then I guess we ain't going because we got a couple of them. So you know what I mean? Like it's more of a hassle for me to have to try to arrange a babysitter. And most of the time, the people in my inner circle are probably going to the same wedding anyway. So they're going
mhm.
to be unavailable for me to use as a babysitter. I'm not going to pay for a babysitter to yeah, no.
But if it's
Now,
someone that you're really close with, I mean, is it
that's what I was gonna say. Like, if it's one of like my close friends and things like that, and I do have someone available to watch the kids, then yes, of course I'll make the effort. But for the most part, I'm a very much of like all right, no kids, I'm opting out. Have a good time.
as someone who does not have kids, I am not a fan of kids at weddings, and I should as I grow older, I should correct the statement into being more, I don't like bad kids at weddings.
Mm,
If you
mhm.
know your child is a badass fucking kid who runs around, who screams and throws tantrums because they don't know the social skills, then don't
Then
bring
don't
them.
come.
I don't want to hear screaming during my vows. I don't want a kid running across the dance floor when I'm having my first dance. I don't want a kid, grabbing at the cake when no one's looking. Like,
Right.
bad kids is what's
Yes.
gonna piss me off.
No, I agree with you on that. It's
But
it's
there's
gonna
also,
throw
like,
off.
an age thing that you can consider, like, okay, maybe kids over a certain age because you know that they have those social skills.
Yeah, and some of them still don't. So
Yeah.
just be careful with that.
You're just asking the parents to be self-aware of their kid, whether they know
Correct.
that they're bad or not.
Yeah. Your uncle did agree with you, though.
Alright, thanks.
Really quick, Vicky Marie on our Instagram said, "As a Filipino, I want everyone to bring their plus ones because I want to indoctrinate them in the art of Filipino partying." Yeah,
I
in
love it.
Mexican households, we just adopt everybody. Everyone's family. You come to the wedding, you're part of the family now.
It's
Welcome.
like, "No, I'm trying to expose you to this." But
Right.
Thanksgiving rules, like Fuzzy Bunny said, I was like, "This is not the time to try new things. This shouldn't be your kid's first field trip out of the house."
Mhm,
I
mhm.
would hope that they are well behaved enough to understand there's a time and place for things.
Yes. Next thing on my checklist, because I just realized we only got like 10 minutes left. Venue. The venue is a big part of the checklist. Where the fuck are we getting married?
Yeah, because that takes up all the budget, basically.
Where are we getting married? Is it two different locations for the ceremony and the reception? So do we have two venues that we now need to factor in? Like there's so much to the venue, parking.
Mm.
And then like if I'm having an outdoor wedding, is there a backup plan in case the weather is not on our side
Is the
today?
venue having an open bar?
That's important.
That's very important. My
Oh,
family
sorry.
drinks.
That's unflattering. I'm gonna take that off because that's not doing her no justice, and I love her, so we're not gonna do that to her.
Ugh.
But yeah, like, if it's a destination wedding, like, how do you call ahead and make sure everything's good? And, like, it's the venue's a big part of the checklist as well. Like, look, she's
Right.
moving.
Oh, she's back.
Hey, you're muted.
She's muted, though.
You're muted. I'm like,
Oh,
she's
wait, can I
back.
unmute? No, I can't do it on my end.
No, I think it says guests muted themselves. There
There
she
she is.
Yes,
is.
it was.
Hey, girl.
I was trying. I was like, I gotta get back in here.
Your last one, I was like, I'm gonna turn that off. That's very unflattering how she froze.
It was like me on the cruise.
Yes, that's
I
how it was.
refused to rewatch that episode. I was like, I don't want to know how I looked on that frame. No, thank you.
Oh man. All right, the next thing I have after venue is the wedding party. So those that are
Mm.
part of the wedding. So groomsmen, bridesmaids, maids of honor. How do you guys feel about all of that? Best man?
I don't think I want a bridal party, if not a big bridal party.
Why?
It's too much hassle to just keep track of all the girls and if they're able to, one, afford it or come follow through everything. Everyone has an opinion. It's I no.
Mhm.
If I do have a bridal party, it will probably like a handful, if that.
What's a handful? Like less than
Like,
5?
yeah.
Okay. Okay. Shar, how do you feel about the wedding party?
Yeah, I think it's kind of the same for me. One, I can't have everybody in the wedding because then who's going to sit in the audience? So
Right.
that's
Right.
one part. um, and then for two, I just think like it's just too much. Like I think it causes too much chaos. It's too many opinions. It's oh, she
Mhm.
looks good in that dress, but I don't, and it's just it's like it's too much. I don't want
Right.
to wear that color. I want like it just is way too much pressure. So I think like even for me, I think I would say maybe two people max. Like
Love
Yeah.
that. Mhm.
I think that's enough.
So, in my original wedding planning, we did have a wedding party, and I did send, the ask the bridesmaids if they want to be in my wedding,
I
with
think
the
those are
little
so
kid.
cute.
They're so
It
cute,
was.
but Lord, there's like so many new traditions now when it comes to weddings that I'm like, fuck, what else do I got to do to get married? But yeah, like I sent them the gift boxes, and originally I had several people in my wedding party, all of like the women that I was closest to,
Mhm.
basically, because the way that my husband and I did it was I get to decide who the bridesmaids are, and you get to decide who the groomsmen are. And
Mm.
so, that's how we kind of originally planned it, and then when we switched to the small wedding, the whole wedding party got cut out. Um, Except I had my maid and matron of honor, and then my husband had his best man as well.
I think that's perfect. I think having a maid and matron of honor, are good. Having, like, the best man and is there another version, a second in
A
command?
married best man? No,
A
just
married best man.
kidding. A best husband, oh, no, just kidding.
Right?
Yeah, I don't know if there's another version for that, but yeah, maid of honor.
So like
Maid of honor. My sister was my matron of honor, and then his brother was the best man, so, like, yeah, it worked out.
Bernice on YouTube said that she only had 3 of each one stop talking to me after the wedding because she didn't wanna pay me money. Like, again, there it's the assumed responsibility too, like, it's something that I'm trying to avoid and would want to avoid is the opinions and just the outbursts and anything else that could happen with more bodies in the wedding party.
So what I did when I was planning for the wedding party, because we did get up to the point where we were picking bridesmaids' dresses and everything already. But what I had decided for mine in order to keep the peace and make sure everyone felt comfortable was this is the color. This is the place that you can get it from because they have the exact color and material. So they'll
Mhm.
know, like they have on my account that this is the color for the bridesmaids, but they could pick any style dress that they wanted.
I like that.
So, yeah, that way, like, you feel comfortable because everybody not every person, everybody is different, and so
Mhm.
people feel more comfortable in different things, and I've been a bridesmaid before, and I fucking hate wearing dresses that I don't think are flattering on me, and I don't feel very confident, but it's not about me that day. So you suck
Right.
it up and you do it, right? But for my wedding, I definitely was like, I want it to be up to them to decide what style they want to wear.
Yeah. I've been a bridesmaid and I've been a maid of honor. Like I said, I love weddings. I love the whole parts of it, but I do understand from that bridesmaid's perspective. I love the whole process of it. I love the outcome. I know that it is not my day, but I've also had experience with other bridesmaids who feel like they need to interject and, try to, offset some things that it's just like, you are the difficult bridesmaid. And I
Mhm.
don't want to deal with that because as a friend or as a sibling, they're not difficult people. Obviously, you chose them to be bridesmaids for a reason. But
Right.
in this aspect, true colors start showing for whatever reason.
Know your friends, guys. Just know your
I
friends.
And I think that too. I think like having a big wedding party is like, to me, it's very nerve wracking because, like you said, your pictures, right? And those last you memories. And like, what happens if you had this one friend who you fell out with, and now she's in all your wedding photos? That's gonna piss me off.
Well, like to Bernice's point on YouTube, she's like, and then after the wedding, they stopped talking to me. Like, yeah.
Yeah, like I would be so pissed off if this broad is next to me in all my pictures and now we don't talk anymore. Like, hell no. That's
Looking at the
okay.
picture like that bitch. No, I'm just
I
kidding.
will say, you know what? I will say
This is
because
not a happy moment.
remember, I was the officiant for my
Mm,
roommate's wedding. So they don't talk to me anymore. And I am in all their wedding photos.
yeah.
You're
Yeah.
welcome.
Real quick, Vicky Marie on our Instagram, she said, if I do the whole getting married thing again, I want a huge wedding party. So she's like, oh, if I do it again, I'm gonna do it big. And she also
Right.
said that her sister did the same thing too with the bridesmaids dresses. She gave them color swatches and said, go nuts. And
Oh,
Philly, who's on our YouTube, was also one of my planned bridesmaids that didn't happen to be a bridesmaid after all. But she said, yeah, we liked it too. LOL. Yeah. I think, just having people feel comfortable in their own skin is
Right.
important. Next thing on the checklist, before I go into the next thing, Instagram, you may get cut off in a couple minutes. If you do get cut off, feel free to hop on our YouTube or our Facebook pages, and we'll continue there.
And that's where we can show y'all's comments too. So I'm sorry, Vicky. Thank you for watching on Instagram, but for some reason we can't show those comments. So if we do want your comments displayed, YouTube and Facebook are the best places to watch our live streams.
Yes. So the next thing I have on the checklist is vendors, right? So those are our photographers, our DJs, our caterers, our florists, if you have them, and then like the wedding planners or coordinators of some sort, if you have those as well, right? So those take a lot of time, take a lot of money. And then, do you have any experience with the DJs and the food and all of that?
I'm always conflicted because in a lot of the weddings, I've experienced a lot of people who have family. I know it's a great cost saving thing, but it's like, oh, my uncle's a DJ, or oh, my aunts are going to be the ones to make the food, or things like that. My only take on that is that once you start getting family involved, one, are they even good at what they do? Like, yeah, they can do it, but are they good at it? Like, just because and I'm just saying, just because my uncle's a DJ, is he a good DJ, or is he still trying to figure out how to transition Cumbia Kings to that gorilla song?
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Like when you say DJ, do you mean an actual professional DJ, or is my Theo have his playlist,
Right.
on there with ads,
Like,
playing during the
yeah.
ceremony? Like,
I didn't even get the upgraded Spotify.
yes, exactly. So
I'm all
yeah,
for
Oh no.
I hesitate on family just because I'm like, I need quality still of this service.
yeah,
And I'm a very
ladies and
picky person.
gentlemen, the wedding is not the time to be trying to network. Okay, like this is no, I want some professionalism for sure. But vendors are a big chunk. And then, pricey depending on how good you want them to be if they're not your
Right.
deal. Invitations and registries are part of my checklist as well. Save the dates if you do that, because not everybody does save the dates. And then after the save the dates is the invites, and then creating the registries as well. Oh, look, Victoria hopped on our Facebook from our Instagram.
Hey,
She said, at my sister's wedding, she had a highly rated professional makeup artist from the knot who
Mm.
stood us up on the wedding day.
Oh my God.
I would die. I would die.
I think that's like a that should be a part of like your wedding checklist. Like, and I know it sounds bad, but like backups, right? For
Mhm.
everything. Because
Right.
things happen. And it could just be on your wedding day that your DJ, your caterer gets into an accident and all the food is spilled everywhere. Like, things happen. So, like, what is the backup
Yes.
plan in case this
Yes.
happens?
The backup plan.
Yeah. I
Well,
think you. Yeah.
go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, I think weddings, like, for certain things, like, if the food is not being catered at your venue, like, have a backup plan because things can go
Yeah.
wrong.
Yes.
Like, my
Right.
cousin's wedding, they had to end up ordering pizzas because they ran out of food. And
I'm all for
so, like,
pizzas.
it
I'm all for
was a
pizzas and I'm all
mess.
for running out of food.
You got to do
It
what you
was
got
a
to
mess.
do.
And
Yeah.
they literally had to order pizza for like people who were coming in late. It was crazy, but yeah.
Not gonna lie, I would love a slice of pizza while I'm drunk at the wedding.
Right.
Yeah,
But
we
Not
also,
all,
gonna
I'm
lie.
okay if they run out of food at the wedding because it's like I'm not one for leftovers.
Yeah.
So if you run out of food, then you just didn't get there in time. I don't know what to tell you.
Exactly. I want to read the comment that's on our screen here from Bernice on our YouTube. She said, "That's how my husband was when we got married. My uncle was in charge of the DJ and he brought his cousin." So yeah, that's what tends to happen. But speaking of backup plans, we're actually gonna have to make a part 2 of this episode because we are at the top of the hour. We could keep going, but you know, I gotta wake up early in the morning, guys. I'm sorry. No, I'm just kidding. No, but seriously, because there's still a lot of things on my checklist that I think are important to talk about when it comes to wedding planning. So catch us maybe in a couple weeks for part 2 of wedding planning. Thank you so much. Shout out to everyone who participated. We appreciate you guys. Shout out to Vicky who jumped off our Instagram and went onto our Facebook to make sure she was still a part of the conversation. Really, really appreciate you, girl. But no matter where you guys are watching us, thank you guys so much. One thing I want to do before Bianca lets you guys know how you guys can follow us on all of our platforms is I want to say that if you guys are following us on our Instagram, at least yesterday, we did pose a kind of ask us anything question. So at the end of the month, this month, we are going to do an open Q&A session with questions from our listeners. Now, you guys can submit any questions through any of our social media platforms. You guys can just DM us on all of those that B will give you guys in just a moment. But those questions can be directed at all three of us as a group to answer. Or if you have questions for us individually, you can address them to each of us as well. So make sure you guys send over your questions. I'm afraid to say it, but we are open to any and all questions that you guys send our way. So we'll see how this goes, but we'll continue to remind you guys on our socials about those questions, but please make sure to get those submitted to us however it's easiest for you guys to send those over. But B, let them know where our social media platforms are so they can get those questions to us.
All right. Well, if you found us on one platform, we have multiple to choose from. You can like, follow, and subscribe to us on our social media. That's Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at It's No Secret Podcast. We have an X account at It's No Secret Pod. And we also have our TikTok account at It's No Secret Podcast Live. And if you can't join us for our live streaming every Wednesday night, then you can definitely listen to us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And if you want to rewatch our live streaming, then you can do that on our YouTube channel.
Yes. Mike is Shari there.
And until next time, remember, it's no secret.
Bye.